Hey everybody, I'm doing a video today on PCB reworking, mainly for solder rework. So I wanted to do a video on that because a few people have asked me about what I do and etc etc. This video is more for medium to advanced people. I'm going to get into InfraRed rework as well, which is at the end. That's for medium people, but just using fluxes and basic tools. That's obviously for beginners, etc. Now, one of the biggest things when you're doing electronics or fault finding or anything like that is the need to either reflow a chip or anything in some sort of plastic package like a connector or whatnot like that. So the way I do that, I use a no clean rework flux. Now there's two that I use, either X32 or X33 rework flux. Now this guy here, this is a big bottle of it. It has to be transported via road because it's flammable, very, very flammable. So if you're going to buy in Australia, obviously these guys here, these are on eBay, and you can order it just straight from them. This is a litre. I've had this for, crikey, I don't know how many years I have had it for a very, very long time. You don't need a lot, and it does last for a long time. Unless you're doing light rework every single day for a whole year, and then maybe you might go through a litre or two. But I'm only doing rework maybe once a week. So not a lot, so I've still got heaps of it. Now the way I use it on my boards, I'll just turn my soldering iron on. It's not on at the moment, so I'll just turn that on so I can hopefully give a quick demo here, if I can get the camera angle right. Now what I do is with my flux, I keep it in what's called it's just the nail polish bottles. Obviously there's no nail polish in them. These are empty ones. If you go onto eBay and do a search for nail polish bottles or glass nail polish bottles or nail polish bottles empty, that sort of thing, you'll get that. This one is an ovally one, type one, and this is one I've got here. This is just a round one. This actually probably needs to be, I don't know if you can see it very well, but the flux in here is a little bit cloudy. Flux, yes, this one's a little bit cloudy too. Flux is absorbs moisture, so it's like brake fluid. You can't just leave brake fluid in an open container around because it absorbs moisture, and then you basically have to toss the thing out. So flux is like that. So if, like me, I haven't done any stuff for probably a month or two, it's just empty this out and just get rid of it, and then just fill it up from this guy. Now this guy's got this lid here has got an O-ring inside it, so this keeps the flux nice and sealed, so no moisture is going to get into it, so that's fine. So that's that guy. Now, the easiest way to do this is to get your soldering iron, put it on a fairly high heat. I've got mine at 440 at the moment. Now, there's a few ways you can do this. The easiest way, and the way I like using these nail polish bottles, is because they've got a little brush on the end, which you can see. I hope you can see that. Now basically all you have to do is just put it in there, paint over the chip. Now I'm hoping I can get a good photo of this. So just painting it on the legs. Be quite liberal with it. It's not expensive to buy, so just absolutely coat the crap out of it. So there's a lot on there. There we go. And now let's see. Just tighten that up. Now get my soldering iron out. Just clean the tip a little bit. And then you can just go along on each leg and just reflow each leg like that. So that's the basic ways of doing reflow. The other way of doing reflow is to use flux and then use solder as well, because if this is the Z80 SRAM, main RAM for the Z80, it's quite common for these two to be a little bit dry sometimes, especially on older boards. It's not like absolutely every board, but I have probably come across maybe 10 to 15 boards in my whole career. So reflowing these two is really a good idea. The error message is on my webpage, so if you're having some problems with the Z80 or Z80 errors coming up on the screen, jump on my webpage and have a look, and it's probably the one for these two guys here, and all you need to do is reflow. If you don't have flux and you've only got solder, that's fine. a fairly fine, I think this is a 0.7 mil. Yeah, this is 0.7 mil with crystal 511 flux. 511 flux is the flux I recommend. All these products are for use with leaded solders, so I'll just point that out. For anything that's non-leaded, which these aren't, these are all leaded, you have to use different flux and different solder, obviously. But I just wanted to make that clear, this is for leaded applications. If you start mixing solders and mixing fluxes, you can get problems with joints, so it's a good idea not to do that. So, yeah. So that's basically it, guys, for using fluxes and reworking chips. So it's not too hard. As I said, make sure you apply a liberal amount of it. Don't be worried to put too much. The good thing is, because it is a liquid, it gets sucked in via surface tension and actually coats all the legs. That way, when you go along, the flux is already there on the actual leg and ready to reflow it and make it a nice joint again. So yeah, so that's that, guys. Now, another way of reflowing for more advanced people, in this day and age, it's getting cheaper and cheaper to buy more semi-professional gear. So I've got, well, actually, I talked about this. This is the Hakko FR301, which is a desoldering gun. So I recommend having one of these. After these, you might think, well, what's the next toy or next piece of gear that you could need? Well, I've got a InfraRed Rework Oven. So I'll just come across here, and you can see it. This is it here. It's not turned on at the moment. So what it does, there's the model number, you can see there, and the brand. Basically what it does is you open it up, you put a board inside, close it, press start, you can get the right ramp for what components you're reflowing. So what I've done is, because most plastics that are on PCBs melt under infrared, so I've made a whole heap of little infrared covers. So I'll just get these little guys out, and I will show you how these all work. They're not done. They were special ones. I had one of my mates spin me up some aluminium because I couldn't get the right size. So that's it there. So you can see it takes a board a little bit bigger than A4, which was what I wanted. This guy was about, I think 350 to 400 AU. So it's not too bad. I haven't used it a lot. I've probably used it maybe 5-10 times. Most PGM motherboards are really good and they don't need to be reflowed, but it's really good for reflowing really fine stuff. So when you actually put the board in, you get more of the flux that I was talking about, paint all that all over everything, chuck it in, and then let it go. So that's the easiest way to do it. Now, because plastic components don't do well in an infrared rework oven, they generally melt, you need to make covers for most of the components, especially capacitors. All capacitors should have a cover, and anything plastic. So you can see here, this is just some channel aluminium, and you can see that I've put aluminium tape on the ends as well. Well, hopefully you should be able to see that. Now, this is the aluminium tape that I use. I don't recommend using the cloth stuff. I recommend this. This is, it's just got sticky on the back, sticky backed, and it's like aluminium foil that you get in a roll for like doing cooking stuff. So this is the stuff I recommend you to. It's not expensive. I think this is like 14-15 bucks a roll, which is not too bad. I don't know how many meters are on it. I think it's 50 or something. It'll last you for ages. So that's so basically what you want to do. You want to make a cover so that the infrared radiation that comes down doesn't melt. And basically what happens is I use aluminium pieces. You probably could use other metals. I use aluminium because it's light, it's easy to cut, and it's generally cheap. So if you have to buy stuff on eBay, it's not going to weigh a lot, so you can do that. These aluminium bits here except for these two, because these were actually machined for me by my friend, and he's on Discord as well. Good old Buffalo Joe. Send him a big thank you. These are for the battery holders. So this goes on, it's a little bit tight, but basically it goes over that. I haven't finished it. I got to put the actual tape across over the top, and that stops the battery holders from melting because they're plastic. So that's what those two do. So this one here, this is for the slots. So it just, as you can see, I've just put tape on either end so it's closed, and basically what will happen is that will sit just on the slots like that. And any infrared radiation that goes down there just bounces off and it doesn't get to the plastics, which means they don't melt. Now, for the capacitors, I use some more aluminium, but just hollow round aluminium. So I'll just grab some, and you can see here I've just put tape over the ends and the other end isn't. So you just make up some of those and they just, okay, they're not for those guys. See how they just sit, this is the bigger ones. And they sit over there, there. No, it's a smaller one. Yeah, there's one there. So as you can see, it's fairly easy to do. You just cut them all up. That one's a bit tight. Where's the smaller one? That's the smaller one, I think. That will go on there. Yep, that'll go on there. Now for these guys here, I think I ended up making a little, yeah, this one. It's a little bit tight, but it's basically just a little cover to cover them all up. Now you can use any type of different aluminium, like see you got this stuff here. You grab one of these little guys. This is a little pipe cutter. What it does is the blade in it moves up and down and it rolls around. So you just grab it onto the aluminium. I'll just cut off just a little piece just to show. So you just do a cut in there and twist it around. And once you've twisted it around, you tighten it up a little bit more. Do a couple more twists, turn it a little bit more, spin it around. And then it should, fairly soon, it will actually just pop off. There we go. A little bit more, and that's it. So that cuts that off. And then you're left with your new piece of aluminium. So just get some tape, little pair of scissors, just cut some off. I normally like to put 2 layers, so I'll just cut it into a little piece. Now let's get the sticky side. Now, what is it doing? It doesn't want to give me, come on. Doesn't want to give me the sticky side. Come on. There we go. So just peel that off. Grab the new piece that you cut. Put it over the top. And just slowly push it down. Now don't push too hard because you don't want to put a hole in the top. You want to have that top so it's nice and sealed, as you can see there. Now normally I'd put another one over the top of that, but just for example here, I'm just doing that. So there you go. So that goes over like the little switch, and that helps there. I made this little squarey rectangular one, and that goes over this guy, like that. So there you go. So you can see now how it all goes to bell, and then once you've got them all covered, you chuck that into the board. Well, actually you should paint all the flux on first before you put the covers on, and then chuck the whole unit in there and then let it go. And it's fully automated. The IR Rework machine, once you press start, it just does the whole thing for you. You just leave it and it'll take care of it all. So yeah. So that's basically it for today, guys. I just wanted to do one since, you know, a lot of these tools, they're getting a lot cheaper, and more people are using them. So more people have been asking me for the advanced methods that I do for doing rework and soldering, etc. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions or anything, or you need soldering videos on specific stuff that I haven't covered, just let me know, because I can always do them for you. Anyway, guys, have a great day, and I'll catch you later.